Hello everyone, this is Lucas with Everyday Backup. Our website is everydaybackups.com. Feel free to message me, it goes straight to my phone. Today I thought I would talk to you about becoming a tech partner with Everyday Backup and what that means for you. We have a demo that we have set up that you can check out at app.everydaybackups.com to get an idea of what our dashboard is like. If you register as a tech partner, you will actually see some more features that we don't have on our demo board here. But just to give you an idea of how our board works, you can simulate a backup failure. And you can see that this client has had a failure indicated by this red dot, and he was moved up the list. And as we can see here, this is an organization and all the devices that are attached to that organization. And this computer, the HR Office PC QuickBooks, did not back up for over 48 hours. So something is wrong. Here we have a warning. Warnings can be generated because a client device was not able to back up a certain file because they had it open, or it could be a warning because it's been a while since we've had an update. But our dashboard shows you when they last backed up and if anything is going on. In fact, you can actually look at a 30-day history per device to see what's been going on and get some additional details if you drop down to read about that backup. As you can see, we have a few extra buttons up here. First off, when you create a client with your Add a Client button, you will need to generate the client files that are branded and have all the security functions in it for your customer and you to help lock down and encrypt that backup. You can generate a custom pay link for the customer that you can charge whatever you want. And it will attach to this pause button right here that if this subscription is not paid, this will automatically pause the backup for that organization and they will no longer be able to back up. If that happened and they were to get caught up on their subscription, you could then come and resume their backup and they would all be able to back up. So you can view what a backup job how it has been going. You can inactivate it and you can delete it from the board entirely. Every single backup sends a config file that you need to be able to restore the files of this device and backup job. In case the device was to fail, we will have access to this config file, which tells us everything we need to do in order to restore those files. As a client goes through different sorts of warnings and failures, they will move up and down the list dynamically. And once the errors are resolved, they will move back down the list here. So there are a few more functions that I really can't show you just yet. You'll need to register as a tech partner in order to see the rest. Registering as a tech partner is actually very easy with Everyday Backup. You just have to go to app.everydaybackups.com/tech registration. I will go ahead and fill this out for you. Let's see, I'm going to say testing 9/29/25. That's today's date. Today I'm going to use some simple names here, but you need to be specific. For example, your business name will become the prefix of your own admin dashboard. So you want to make sure this is specific to you, and it is also used in the branding that we do for you. So you want to make sure that's your actual business name. Go ahead and put in your phone number for us. So that we can call you and help you get set up. And we will need an email, and this email will become your admin user. So you want to make sure that's a good email that you have access to. Once you register, you will get a registration successful screen, and it will, you can click this green button to go straight to your admin dashboard login, but it will send a welcome email with some additional information, so you're going to want to make sure you check that out. After you click go to your admin dashboard, you will have to log in. You can check remember me, so you don't have to keep logging in. And it will ask you for an MFA verification code that it sends to your email. So you'll need to check that out. And you can trust the device for 30 days. You're going to want to make sure you check that. Okay. So now we are in my brand new admin dashboard. You can see at the right, we have my account. And let's go take a look there first. The My Account page allows you to change your login email, password if you need to, create a new password. And the best part, it contains your commission payout settings. As you can see, it currently says status not connected and a button connect with Stripe here. We recommend using connect with Stripe. Sign up, make an account. You can attach any debit card or ACH transfer bank account here and get instant payouts. If you don't have a debit card, then the next best option is PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Just select which one you want, put in your information, and hit request payout change, and we will automate it in our system to take care of you that way. But without this, you can't get paid. So now let's go back to the admin dashboard. As you can see, you have a default organization that was created for you. This is kind of a placeholder that you can definitely just get rid of. Also, you should notice here we have our expected monthly payout summary. Our platform fee per organization is $17.50. You may charge whatever you wish for each organization by generating a custom pay link. For example, I'll go ahead and delete this organization by clicking the red X. And you'll see now there is 0 platform share due. Now on Everyday Backup, we do not charge you, we charge the customer. So you'll want to create your first organization. We'll say testing org. And this would be the name of the company that you have as a backup client. Okay, I got a new organization. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create client files, and this does take about 2 minutes for the first time. So make sure that you wait on the screen, and once it's done, your files will be served to you. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. I'll be right back. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes, and as you can see, I am being served the files. And this is your new backup software for this organization. So to show you how that works, we'll go ahead and open it up. The best thing to do is to just extract it straight to the C. So you should have C:\\/ in your files. Click extract. Okay, you'll wait for those files to extract. What I usually do is download the backup software to a flash drive, and then you would take that to your client's location. Or you can remote in and download your software to the client's computer, either from your admin dashboard or a Google Drive or something that you set up for those client files. Okay, after you have extracted. It should open. If it doesn't, you should find it in your C and find your backup folder. Go to bin, launcher, and run this setup startup task. And what that does is run a daily check every day to make sure that your backup software is running. Then click Everyday Backup Portable, and that will launch your backup software. It doesn't actually open a window. Every now and then you might see a command prompt. Boom, there it went. And that means it's now running in the background. So you will need to go at the bottom right with your taskbar and click this up arrow, and we are looking for that right there. Okay. Open it up, click it rather, it will open on its own, it will sign in, and it will run a backup. Most of the time it always runs the backup by itself right away, but sometimes you may need to hit run now. And this is a dummy backup that I have created that allows you to very quickly get a backup running for your client and also putting them on your dashboard. So for example, let's go take a look at our admin dashboard. You will need to refresh the page, and there is our device that has created a backup. You will notice it is unassigned. So we want to go to organization and put it in the correct organization. Now we have our organization with the device. You can toggle that organization to clean up your dashboard, and you can toggle it back down. If it is toggled and it has an error, you will have your status dot appear. So this backup has now been created, and we can view its history. See, we ran 2 backups already. We can see some details about them. It tells us the size, and if there was any errors or warnings, they will be here. So now that we have created a client file, what we need to do is determine how much we're going to charge this organization. Now your platform share is $17.50. You may charge whatever amount over that $17.50 that you wish for this client. That we recommend at least $35. That is what we generally charge our clients. So you would make a custom pay link and enter how much you want to charge them. Let's say $45 for this customer. Enter the customer's email so you can send it straight to them, or if you want to see what it looks like, you can send it to yourself. Before you send it to the customer. So the files will be created and sent to the email you provided. To give you an example of what that looks like, this will be the email that your customer receives. And as you can see, it will say provided by your business name. So you want to make sure that business name is correct so that it will show up correct in all the branding. Here is the customer tag, which I named testing or creation, but this should be the business name of your customer, how much they have to pay, and a subscription link. Now you want them to pay with a subscription. So we'll click that and check that out. And they will subscribe to Everyday Backup provided by you at $45 a month. And you will notice we say it is a 24/7 managed and monitored cloud backup service. This allows you to create as many organizations as you need and back up as many devices as you want. At Everyday Backups, we charge $5 a terabyte, but the first 2 terabytes are included in our $17.50. So that means if you have one client using 3 terabytes of data, then they would have to pay the $17.50 plus $5 additional. So make sure that you uh, create a custom pay link. As those organizations grow, you'll track their usage here. As you can see, I just backed up a tiny little bit, so it's just one file right now, but this will certainly grow as your customers' devices do and the backups continue, because at everyday backups, we take a backup every single day. That's what sets us apart from others. So you'll notice that we have the config file. If we needed, we can download this config on any other computer and use it to restore their data. And to restore, you'll notice a restoration management button at the top right of the screen with your other navigation buttons. So here we are on the restoration management. Now, just like the admin page I hadn't shown you yet, but you can search as your organizations grow and the devices grow. You'll need to know. So I'll just type in test, and there it is. But if I was to type in, say, beach, you'll notice that there is nothing because we don't have an organization or a device named beach. But you would pick the device you needed from the organization, find the config date that correctly matches your data request. And for this instance, we obviously only have the 2. But as the time goes on, you will have many of these configs to choose from. And usually the latest one would be the one the customer wants, but depending on what it is they're looking for, it could have been something that's been lost for many months. And if that's the case, you want to select the correct corresponding config. In this case, I will just do the last one, and you want to initiate a restore. Now, this won't work right now because I am in a virtual machine, and this was just created. So once you initiate a restore, it will be moved into the active restores table. There's a progress bar that goes from 0 to 100 to indicate the restores process. There's a countdown of which it is 12 hours. Once the restore is ready, you will have some new action buttons appear that you can send the client an email to let them know how to get their data, etc. So that is all for the restoration management page. So let's go back to your admin dashboard. The download backup and recovery software button is for your business. Now, if you want to back up your own business data with Everyday Backup, you would use this button right here, of which you will be charged another platform share of $17.50. You'll notice at the top we also have the total number of backup jobs, how many are going, and the success rate. So the success rate is derived from the status of each, and it takes an average of all of the different devices you have backing up. So the success rate will vary widely depending on how your organizations are doing. You'll notice another status over here, but this status will be the account subscription status. So this will change if they fail to pay or cancel. So you'll kind of want to be aware of that, but our system is set up to automatically pause after 45 days of no payment. What we suggest is you reach out to the customer if that is to happen and try to get them to resubscribe. And if they don't want to, then you use the stop button. You only use the stop button when the client wants to stop service, because this will delete all the files. It does have a confirmation, so it's not something you can accidentally press. But when you press it and you enter this ID of whatever organization it is and hit OK, it will delete all of this customer's information. So you want to be careful with that. and only use it when the customer has decided, and you need to let them know too that, hey, if you're no longer paying, I'll hold your data for 45 more days. That's 90 days total, and then I'm no longer responsible for it. You hit that button, it's gone. Now, there's also a copy client link button you'll notice, and if you are to click that, what it does is take a copy of this organization's device list and creates a client link for them. And this is one of the best parts about Everyday Backup is there's no more wondering if you're getting what you paid for. We have found, and that's why we started Everyday Backup, because there were many customers who were paying for backup but had no idea if it was working. This page allows your client to see every backup for 30 days for every device in their organization. Any details about it and any failures. We feel that this is one of the best things about Everyday Backup because it puts the client at ease of mind. Yeah, look, there's my device, and for the last 30 days, it's been going, and maybe they even have a warning, and if they can click expand, and that warning would tell them, hey, we were not able to back up this file, and it will tell them the name of the file because it was open. So this kind of gives them some ownership over their backups as well, because they can call you if they notice it's not working, and neither did you. Once you generate a pay link, you do want to declare the amount. And the reason is because this is how we pay you out. So $17.50 will be charged per customer organization to the customer, and your declared payout will show up on your expected monthly, and it shows your total declared minus our platform share and your expected payout. You must enter this number, and it must match the pay link, because that is what allows the automatic stopping and resuming of a subscription. When you create this pay link, whatever number that your customer agrees to, you must enter in declared monthly revenue to track the pay link correctly. I think that about covers everything from registering, logging in, creating your first organization, creating client files for that organization, how to get them from here to the client's computer, what to do once you get it on the client computer, and what the rest of these buttons do. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out at everydaybackups.com. One last thing. What we did earlier was just a dummy backup to get the device on the board. This is useful when you're in a large organization. You can log into Everyday Backups dashboard on your phone, and then as soon as you run the dummy backup, just by opening it, it will automatically log their device, and you can change the device's name and help control, I guess, your map of the organization. Now back to the backup. The easiest thing to do is I have set this up with everything you needed with our state-of-the-art security built in. Just click this drop-down menu, and it says configuration, hit edit. You're going to go to source data. The name of this backup is what shows up as the backup job. So you can change the name. If you need to, you can leave it the same because you have already named the device. The backup job's name can be whatever you want it to be. Maybe you want to do more than one backup job, so you need to change the names. you would do it right here in the general backup settings. We have already encoded a password to log in to this localhost 8200, which is the everyday backup back end, and this must be running in order for your backup to function correctly. So you want to leave this passphrase there. The destination has already been pre-filled for you. You should leave this as it is because it puts it in the correct location for your company and their company. The source data is what you want to back up. So as you can see, currently our source data was this acknowledgements.txt file. That's what we have already backed up, and it's showing on our dashboard here. That's why it's very small. So you want to uncheck that, and whatever the user needs or wants backed up, this is where you would schedule that from. You can, maybe their documents, they want their pictures, their whole desktop, or you can do a whole drive if they needed. Even a C is fine, and you hit next. The schedule, you can schedule it whenever you want. Sometimes it's good to ask the customer, do you turn your computers off at night? Well, yeah, we leave at 5 p.m. and we shut them down. Okay, we need the backup to occur before then, so you would have to schedule correctly your backups. Most of the time we find this works fine, because even if they shut the computer down, it'll run the next morning and it kind of gets caught up, but you can change that to whatever you need to. In the options menu, everything has been preloaded for you. You should leave it just like this. We have 500 megabyte blocks. The backup is encrypted before it is sent to the storage location. So it will do so in 500 megabyte files, and it makes it much easier to restore the data later that way. Leave this smart backup retention just like it is. And these are your auth password and username. You must leave these right here, and you use these in any other backup you may want to create. This no backend verification is important because of the way that we are storing these encrypted files. There is no way for this to ever verify, so we do not want this, so please leave this checked. This send HTTP URL is your business name .everydaybackups.com, and this is what sends to your dashboard here. So it is reporting to backup. So you want to make sure that you leave that same too. So just a good recap, the best way is to just click this button, edit, source, pick what you want to back up. You can leave that checked or uncheck it. It's such a small file. Go to options, hit save. As you saw, I just pulled the password and username from the advanced options here. Generally, you don't have to do that. I'm inside this virtual machine right now, and it creates some problems, and that's one of them. Normally that it would just go straight through, but you do need to be aware of this username and password. These have been created for you on our back end, and this is how this customer will access the back end. So these are generated per customer that you create on your admin dashboard. But if you were going to create another backup, a whole new one, you would need this username and password for what I just did there. So I copied them into the username and password. So now, just to give an example, hit test, and it's working. And again, most of the time you don't have to do that. So you would go to 5 and save. All right, now you can either wait until 9 p.m. or you can run it now. This one's going to take a little longer. Not a whole lot longer for me because this is an empty virtual machine. But just to make sure, look, so we'll go ahead and check, edit. We'll make sure that our source data, see, we're getting my music, pictures, videos. Once this is set up, you can just close it out and it will run in the background on that customer's computer here in the taskbar. You can find it. It does say duplicati because that is the source code we use to create everyday backup. So you can just click it once and it will sign back in if you needed to. This runs on localhost 8200 or 8300. So sometimes computers won't load it in the task manager, but it will be running and you can just localhost 8200. Or you may sometimes have to kill the service. So the best way is to open Task Manager and go to Details, and you will see duplicati.gui.tray icon. That is the tray icon here. And if you can't log into the server for whatever reason, you can end task. You'll notice it's gone, and you'll notice you lost connection to the server. So to restart that server, you can reboot the computer, or you can go to the C drive, the backup folder, bin, launcher, run it again. Sometimes you do get a message, you just have to hit yes or open. And now it's running in the background again, but we watch for the taskbar for the duplicati source code to run and to load your everyday backup. There we go. So click on it once. It will sign you into the server. It will tell you how it's going. If the backup is behind for whatever reason, it will automatically start running as soon as you log into the server. If it's up to date, it will stay just like it is and wait for its next scheduled time. So there we go. You have learned how to register as a tech. You have learned how to use your admin dashboard, how to create client files, how to put them on your client's computer, create a backup job, how to assign that device to the correct organization and change the device's name. And you have learned even how to initiate a restore. Please contact me at everydaybackups.com for any more questions. Thank you.